All right, so the Ashe goes down. No first pick Ashe either, a little bit interesting. So we're going to take the Senna. All right, immediately into Lucian. Nautilus trying to create some kill pressure here, and that's going to prompt the Tahm Kench, which is a reaction to the Nautilus.
Yeah, so the Azir,
All right, we have Orianna up, which is interesting, but Chovy preferring the Azir. I mean, this is just a Chovy pick because he likes side laning a lot with Azir. Seen this for years now. Oh, okay, we're just going to play Nautilus jungle. And we're going to play... It was all a clever ruse, guys. It was all a clever ruse to get them to pick Tahm Kench.
Also a counter pick to Azir.
So they really want to bully this lane now. They're saying, oh, we're just going to push you in, and you're going to have a really shit laning phase because of our lane potency. Very interesting. Very interesting bait.
But then you risk the Nami being banned, and then you really don't really...
The Nami was not going to be banned, guys. The Nami, I'm really surprised they actually took this pick at this point in time, right? On R3, because obviously you can hide this until the very end of the draft if you so choose, and I don't think they're going to ban Nami and expect a Nautilus jungle. In fact, GenG probably thinks like, oh, we got a decent lane into this Lucian Nautilus.
It's still the Nami Lucian lane, especially for someone like
Zeko. It's still a good flexibility. They're going to ban Udyr and Sejuani again. Canyon is preferring this, but he can always go Rel, which has been his other main champion.
Rumble can similarly have high value off draft here for GenG.
All right, Lee Sin for Canyon.
And it looks like Zeka.
So I think the Lee Sin is good here. You have to have something to punish the front lining of the Lucian. Thank you, Fear from Fire, for your subscription. You have to have something to punish the Lucian because in LCK and LPL, the Lucian wants to basically be on the front line and pretty aggressively putting out damage. So the threat of Lee Sin Q and the possibility of getting kicked back at least provides some level of threat here, as well as the Sand Soldiers that will be in the front line. But this is pretty standard, front to back team fighting from GenG. Taliyah, not the most value here. So Taliyah is just very good in general because of the peel it provides. Does prevent Azir engages. And if you look at GenG's composition, the primary form of engage is going to be Equalizer and Lee Sin flank into kick. So they don't necessarily need to engage with Azir, like have him slide through potentially a Taliyah E into the back line to push people forward with his ultimate. So Taliyah value here, because the thing is, if you're placing Taliyah E on a flank to stop the Lee Sin engage, it's not great. It's not great. Thank you, Minty678. So this is really the Taliyah is always going to be good, guys, and she is very, very strong. But she has less value in this composition compared to other compositions that we frequently see in this meta.
What you could do if you're able to get a hook and then you get a flip back onto the Senna, she's dead. Same to be true of the Rumble.
I can't believe you put that fraud of a KT team at 6th place in your rankings. Well, man, they did beat GenG, so I hate them too, but I have to be, even though I hate them, I have to be honest about them.
Here in this draft with Hanwha Life, especially if Doran is able to get some value on this Aatrox early. If Peanut gives him some attention, he won't have to babysit bottom side as much, obviously.
If it makes you feel better, Archie, I did call them fraudulent in my Power Rankings video.
Execution is so much higher. The burden of it for Hanwha Life here, whereas on the side...
Did you have time to read the lawsuit? I haven't read the full document yet, but I will.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I think we're going to do a 4 Horsemen on it this coming week.
I feel like something may have clicked in the man. He's like, well, it's time to remind everyone. High level, right? Like, you can show me as many highlight clips.
What will you say if KT makes MSI that they're frauds?
If you do it against GenG at the very end of a game in a clutch moment, that's when you could. I never will. Let's just... So, this is an epic one, and already Keen has passed the Huni test. We talk about the Keen test a lot.
Sure.
The Huni test is now in effect because Rumble was once again picked up. Nerfed a little on this patch, but should be okay in
Which
okay
lawsuit?
matchups.
Hector, the owner of Optic, and Scump, like the most famous Call of Duty player, are suing Activision because of the CDL. Now, I think this lawsuit's pretty bullshit, but it's interesting.
Combo on him and he dies for any reason, or Peanut ganks and he does fall behind this Aatrox and ends up losing out on the lane. He doesn't have teleport. He is now facing a flanking, teleporting Aatrox that's ahead. He will also not be able to join fights as easily. They're dealing with a Taliyah, so that global is in effect as well. So it's really important for Keen to not mess this up, because if he falls teleporting Aatrox that's ahead, he will also not be able to join fights as easily. They're dealing with a Taliyah, so that global is in effect as well. So it's really important for Keen to not mess this up, because if he falls behind, this Rumble ends up really being a huge hole for GenG when we get to those later team fights.
Formation 444. Thank you for your tier 1 sub. Can't believe the KT Bakery finally fielded a team that's more razor than cake. Yes, exactly.
So, I don't expect that he will, but keep an eye on that.
People are now saying that they might be a cake razor, a cake shaped like a razor with no razors in it.
Because if Doran does outplay
I don't believe that.
Peanut puts that attention there, could be a big problem. He is, of course, starting Raptors right now, as you guys can see on the minimap, so won't be going there for an early gank or anything like that, but certainly could be something they look for when we get to like 4 or 5 minutes time.
Yep, and Doran's Aatrox either hard carries games or he's randomly flashing over walls, and we can't explain it, right? So we don't know which version of Doran we are going to get here, but honestly, he's been rolling heads a whole lot.
Urkel Baggins, thank you for your tier 1 sub.
On this champion, and just
You are the perfect human being. The rest of you who are unsubscribed are deeply flawed human beings. Consider subscribing to reach perfection.
Utilize the power of this Nami Lucian, which I am actually really happy they decided to opt into. Remember, they could have picked Melia if they wanted to.
And like the Nautilus deny, it feels really good, because obviously Nautilus can allow you to do some really cool stuff where you all in back, in these early levels. We've seen it so many times where some of our weaker teams have failed to get those proper trades off with the Lucian Milio, and then Nautilus gets a hook, you get the Senna route, and then suddenly you're like, oh man, I lost my Cryo at level 2.
Anonymous Gifter gave out 5 community subs. Well, somebody anonymously wants you guys to be perfect. That's very nice of them. You should be so grateful.
Try to do stuff like this, and just proc is passing non-stop. It's working pretty well here, as it should.
Yep.
In this early game.
And I'm also, I kind of like how these bands, like, it's sort of retroactively, right? I'm appreciating the band.
Very nice. Thank you.
Because I think that the 2 best supports alongside Senna.
The erudite among you will consider converting those into your own subscriptions when your month is up.
But I think has a little bit less presence, a little bit more guarantee for value later on, and in team fights especially. But as far as laning, it has looked like this Nautilus and the Maokai have been very strong. So that Maokai was a sort of double duty ban, which I always value.
Really?
Nightshade 81 gifted a sub to Latauro Q28. The subless mod. How kind. How kind, Nightshade. Night Shadow, excuse me. Night Shadow 81.
He's going to have to teleport back to lane here. Knows, of course, he has that advantage and knows that there's not going to be a commitment here from Canyon. You saw him drop that ward and then walk away.
It's true. I was once a hopeless plebeian. Once I was subscribed, I felt the knowledge of generations of erudites flood my mind as I became enlightened, ascended to a higher plane. See, Matty Man knows. All it costs is $5. It's the cheapest enlightenment. Everybody else telling you it'll take a lot of money or years of dedicated practice. I'm telling you it takes $5.
Isn't quite able to do so, but still. Peanut just doing a bit of a drive-by before he heads back towards his Raptors.
All right, guys, so in this game, I mean, it's been a third wave push into the bot side. We see Rumble trying to bully in the top side. Shockingly, very low jungle action right now. We're starting with second clears for Nautilus and Lee Sin as camps start to spawn.
Yeah, for a really long time.
Yeah, exactly. How long is it? Like 6 years? My goodness, it's maybe not quite 6.
So Nautilus actually does a full clear crab into Raptor 2, and he is going to get a Bami Cinder. No surprise.
Like he was. Yeah. Although Score was still playing back then, so
after 2020, like when he won 2020 Worlds, I think everyone was like, "All right, this guy's the best." Like, undisputed for quite some time, and then even when
replicating the 15th century Vatican approach to spiritual enlightenment. That's right. I'm selling you indulgences. Don't tell Martin Luther. Guys, nobody tell Martin Luther, okay? Nobody tell Martin Luther about my stream. I don't want any fucking Twitch reformations.
Anything, like I said, in this game just yet because the ward coverage has been good. Peanut's been tracking
A chance for top 5 plays of the week. Look, there's always a chance.
Canyon is in the vicinity again, dropping that
Maybe
control ward down,
is my answer.
Now Keen is going to have to back away. If this Rumble dies, it is disastrous.
Zeka in position, only level 5 as the hook is going to connect. Chovy is going to arrive as well, though. Emperor's Divide, and Zeka has to go all the way down the carpet. He might need to get out of here, though, utilizing the flash that he doesn't have. Atlas connect. Chovy is...
I love...
And now Keen is going to have to back away. If this Rumble dies, it is disastrous.
Zeka in position, only level 5 as the...
I love seeing people fight a level 6 Azir and a level 6 Rumble while both your solo lanes are level 5 at Grubs. Hello? 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 What is this bullshit? What? I mean, obviously Talia wall isn't going to do much unless you can wall off Azir. But like, what the fuck, man? You don't even have top lane prio. Why is Zeka flashing? He's so fucking bad. Why is he flashing? Why is he flashing?
Doesn't have Atlas, and that is going to equal first blood over to Canyon.
And it's just way too overzealous what Hanwha Life were trying to do there. They wanted to both threaten Keen and then come over there and try to control those Grubs, and unfortunately you didn't have 6's Zeka to really make an impact there with Weaver's Wall. And
what a fucking tragic play from Hanwha. That is griefing, guys.
Well, around a pit, an objective you're locked into.
What the fuck? Why are we griefing for Grubs?
Hanwha Life and GenG take a massive advantage because of it.
Oh, it's huge.
Griefing.
Like, you're just not doing the original Rumble homework. You know, like if Rumble level 6, we are in game, do not find
Grubs.
neutral objective.
Yeah,
as he hit level 6. That's just it's pretty yeah, that's the first lesson.
Especially if you don't have any control over where he can stand. You know, his range is so high that he can make that impact with his ultimate from so far away that even though Peanut was positioning to kind of try to zone him away and then collapse onto the objective, he's still going to get that ultimate off. He's still going to make that impact. As long as he doesn't miss, you lose.
Is Peanut still as good? Yeah, I mean, Peanut's still very good.
Super priced into it based on that routine.
Now, I don't know why you would ever make that play, though. What the fuck, man?
Still perfectly executed on the side of GenG. Chovy with the Emperor's Divide that he collects with that lane control that he'd put together earlier. And level 6 advantage.
It's fine. All the T1 fans say only worlds matter, so Zeka has never been bad. Also, Pioshik has always been good, too. That's actually hilarious. Good job. By T1 fan logic, Zeka is a god. Dude, that fucking flash just gets me, man. What a terrible day to have eyes.
Unless you actually are able to somehow collapse onto Chovy. If Chovy doesn't have 6 there, maybe you could argue there was a world where that would be a reasonable call, but I think just Hanwha Life, eyes bigger than their stomach a little bit here. This is a world-class team. They have that Rumble ultimate. You can't win those.
No, you certainly can't. And they still do have a lot of priority here towards the bottom side of the map. You can see it should still be a decent gold lead that Viper does have. Viper and Light together over Pays and Lehens. But center is more
not jungle seems so grief. Well, no. I mean, he's keeping up in terms of farming, and with with tank itemization being so strong, and it was also a bait to get them to pick Tom Kench so that they could have a very strong bot lane. Now here's the real question, guys. If we're going to try and get a bot lane advantage by taking the not jungle, right? So you can get push, then why are we fighting at Grubs around the Rumble? Like, it's just fucking up your own game plan.
Very, very well.
Like, why are we not playing aggressively into the bot side where our alleged advantage is?
I don't know whether it spells better things moving towards this mid game, where a Rumble will thrive alongside this Lee Sin and Azir.
Yeah, I mean, his build is going to be slowed down, obviously, because he has to build his Hex Drinker, so that really hurts. I think it's definitely still viable, the Aatrox from this current game state, and he can make a huge impact in some of these upcoming mid-game fights, but...
So, like, I don't really understand why Peanut is not playing around mid or bot. Like, you can just give up the fucking Void Grubs, guys. It doesn't matter.
To have the impact he wants to have. They obviously lose Drake as well, so they don't get to do anything this comp is trying to do in the early mid for a while, if ever. And if that just happens, then the fact that Senna...
They're clearly trying to ice skate uphill, yeah. Some motherfuckers, man. Always trying to ice skate uphill.
And one of the reasons why we're seeing less success, I guess you could argue, for Lucian after this patch is that he doesn't get...
You know what I love about that quote?
So he just doesn't have that big spike.
Is that there's zero... It's like hilarious in terms of imagery, right? It's from Blade, for you guys who don't know. It's a line that Wesley Snipes says. But because you would be ice skating on water, there's a 0% chance you would ever be ice skating uphill because water couldn't freeze that way. It's just like, it's so funny because it's just like, it's a hilarious mental image, but it's also something that could never actually happen.
He's going to find the shot.
Okay. Chovy just comes in and stuns himself.
He walks over. So Zeka will be all right. Holds onto the flash there as well. Okay, Bissell dive is going to be sidestepped here by Viper. Decent little knock-up as the bubble has to be flashed by Lahans. A lot of summoners now burnt. As here on the bottom side, Hanwha Esports with the fancy feet, making things really work for them. And I really love that you bring it up, because this is Viper's Lucian. Yeah. We haven't necessarily had Lucian put through the
Esports Martin Luther followed me. Uh-oh.
Test of, well,
don't tell him I've been selling indulgences.
This guy's really, really good in general, but also absolutely amazing on this.
You guys are too funny.
And that was just a good reaction there from Delight, dropping the bubble instantly. Lahens has to flash, and ends up being a way better trade here for Viper and Delight. A bit optimistic there on the dive.
I mean, Niagara did freeze. You can ice climb, obviously.
Peanut's in the area here.
Show me, guys, here's a challenge. Show me a video of somebody ice skating uphill. Do it. Find it.
Going to be stunned up for a few moments, but he's just pretty tanky.
He's pinched. Yeah, he's got a cowl and a bombies, and he's going to be okay here. But if he had, potentially been a little bit
some streamers in this channel never placed with cold winters. I'm from Colorado.
Do something instead. It's just a little bit of biffo, as you call it.
Yep.
And
casual.
I'm a skier.
Trovy might even be able to get himself a Rift Scuttler. That is a very happy Trovy if that is possible. But instead, the wave is going to crash, and he is just going to let Canyon collect the extra gold. Understandable, of course, giving it over to your jungler, but I wouldn't have put it past Chovy to collect a little bit of extra money on the map.
So Chovy is obviously going to build Nashers first. That is the way that Azir is played on patch 14, all different points of it. And we'll see what he builds second, because we're seeing a little bit more Zhonya second recently. It's been a little bit more popular, allows you to survive more and look for some deep engages, but also allows you to heal a little bit better. So we'll see what he does second.
Blade is really the villain of the Blade movies, especially Blade 1. He literally just goes in and destroys all of the vampires' religious artifacts like a douche.
There's 2 AP sources on the other side.
He actually is destroying, priceless religious texts.
Not as much profanity. No. Which is a little bit of
and just murdering them.
Yeah. I wonder whether they were censored, as Orcs was talking about in the pre-game lobby, because I did see some giggles just before we got into the draft from the players. I really want to know what they were saying. Hopefully, the boys on the space.
Base, to be honest. Dude, he destroys the Vampire Bible, the original Vampire Bible.
But I am very curious, because Peanut does like to troll.
Yeah, Peanut trolls a lot in lobbies, As someone who watched a lot of in-game lobbies back in the StarCraft days, it was usually just 1A, 2A, 3A, go, 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 go. It was about like the pre-talk. But in League, it gets a little bit more fun because you're about to jump into draft instead of grabbing SCVs. So I'm hoping that we get to see some of those bans at some point. Obviously, some of that is
pretty late dominant performance as we would have expected from Hanwha at this point in time.
One day, maybe we'll share some of that and turn it into a whole big thing. Mandate's done here for Delight, but he's not here right now. Viper is alone.
There should be a mandatory viewing category of foreplay with Blade as one film. I imagine we'll get to Blade. I think that movie's great.
He's going to be fine.
I enjoy that film.
Standing that far up for a moment, but once Delight rejoins with that Mandate, there's a lot of power here, but unfortunately, he's just not here in time for this objective. Zeka has ult.
We should do a Monster Slayer foreplay arc. That's actually a really good idea.
The Senna composition, getting 2 dragons for free. Keen is here. Doesn't have teleport, still shows up to the objective fight. And yes, a plate goes down topside, and Doran's able to shove that wave, and he'll lose some farm. but he's still up on CS. He's still going to go up here and catch the second wave. And Hanwha Life just end up getting nothing out of this play, unfortunately. A little bit disjointed there on the
I think Monster Slayers has like a very good,
not able to collapse in, and
has a number of very good possibilities, because we could even do, you know, movies like Pacific Rim with that one.
Chances if you're a Hanwha Life fan.
Especially not if they lose the next streak. I think the next streak, that's the backbreaker.
Esports Martin Luther says, "Hello, Mr. Christo. It's come to my attention that you've been selling something. I'm interested in what that could be." Dr. Butts, PhD. Wow, truly erudite. Thank you for resubscribing with Prime. Thank you, Dr. Butts. I don't know what to say about that name. It's magnificent. Yes, Esports Martin Luther. I've been selling Enlightenment for $5. Can I offer you some? Please don't write any theses.
So Trovy gets out, doesn't have to use a flash or anything like that. Peanut's going to slink off to his jungle.
There is so much CC you can layer in Hanwha Life's composition, but if it's not there in time, it just doesn't necessarily matter. Trovy just slides over the wall, doesn't have to flash or anything there. But opportunities like what was given there, potentially to Peanut, can arise later on in the game. If you end up losing Pays, he's out of position, or if Trovy does get caught before a big team fight, you know, a hook turns into a flip, turns into an Aatrox is on top of you, or
I would check your front door tomorrow if I were you. You guys are too funny. We do have the best educated stream on Twitch chat. Only on Twitch chat would somebody actually go and create an Esports Martin Luther account as a joke.
Viper and Delight just trying to put on as much pressure as they can. Of course, this bottom lane, the heart and soul of
Chimera Boss 69. Thank you for your Twitch Prime sub.
Just really good.
Boy, I subbed to Monty and my IQ went up 10 points.
But Hanwha Life Esports' problems are not from them. No, have stemmed from elsewhere. And
Subbing to MonteCristo, guaranteed to increase your IQ, one standard deviation minimum.
We'll see whether it is going to come together as we move past this mid game into a late game that they could possibly.
Unless you're Reginald, nothing can help you then.
With all of that CC, like you were talking about, if they can orchestrate.
My magic has limits. Esports Martin Luther.
All of the bevy of CC that Peanut has available.
This is a disaster for Doran potentially, by the way.
Yeah, he's gonna have to walk down the red
Oh,
carpet.
thank you, Matty Man, for the gift sub.
Some decent knockups coming in here as it's a of CC that Peanut has available.
This is a disaster for Doran potentially, by the way.
Yeah, he's going to have to walk down the red carpet, and he's going to get down the entire way. Some decent knockups coming in here as it's a teleport from Zeka to bring him towards this top lane, and Delight is there. He's going to meet them with the wave. There's the double knockup. The shove is good onto Canyon. As
poor Canyon.
Survive, and Canyon is not.
It took 5 people to kill him, but they did it.
Picking up the first kill for Hanwha Life Esports.
And it's going to take them all their turrets as they get 6 grubbed in 2 lanes. Oh, this is such a bad play.
Here for GenG. Really good for Hanwha here is going to be still somewhat good for them. Let's see if they can get the punish here on this play from Pays and Lens. Again, so much CC here.
This would be massive. Well, Pays is going to have to try and get to the hands as best he can. There he goes. Abyssal dive going to come.
It's too easy, guys. It's too fucking easy. They traded 2 towers for a kill onto Canyon and a flash onto Keen. Oh, it's so ugly.
From Canyon to go up there and look for a dive, set up the Rift Herald top side. That fails, but it gets a teleport out of Zeka. Peanut has to be there on the top side, which allows Chovy so much free time to push bottom. Then they turn it around.
What a disaster of a game.
Peanut takes the Hex Gate over here. He knows that Doran is very likely about to get dove here. So he can come over and cover for him. So Doran is fine. Gets the sweet spot here. Then the teleport comes back through. But this means Chovy can continue to push. He knows Peanut's top side here. And yeah, Canyon gets isolated on the side of this wall. Almost gets out, to be honest. But it's a great predict there from Zeka. The flip fantastically placed. But the cost is so high because you've got 6 grubs. I mean, the mid turret is gone, the bottom turret is gone now, and GenG.
This is like watching the T1 D+ game where they just got T1 just cross mapped them with the six void grubs. Like you cannot disrespect the 6 void grubs in the cross mapping. GenG and T1 in particular is the best 6-stack void grub team in the world. They are so good at doing it, guys.
Before going for these fights and going for these teleports, then you're going to lose a lot more than you gain, and that is precisely what happened.
Look at Chovy's lead. I mean, it's 1,800 gold almost. You know, it is over 1,800 gold. He's almost 2,000.
Why do you think T1 is weaker than BLG?
Getting that turret and the extra 50 CS now he's amassed over Zeka, who's trying to.
If they literally won Worlds in the last 4 months and beat JDG, who is better than this BLG version, okay, well, T1 lost to GenG. This version of BLG is better than the one that was at Worlds. And we're doing current form. So I think BLG could be lower than T1 in the future, but I think they're better right now.
I think it's totally warranted.
Oh man,
An anonymous gifter, thank you. Rectal bleeding for Prez. That's quite a name that you gifted that sub to. Royvis1, thank you, and the Aol Dark, thank you for your Twitch Prime subs. They are greatly appreciated.
Zeka, just going to get flashed on here by Chovy. He's going to need a conquering save to go a little further than that if he wants to get that one. So trade of flashes, but also most of Zeka's health bar, and that will give Chovy a lot of control. He might even be able to take this turret as well, given the Nash's Tooth already in his back pocket.
He's not going to opt in for it, but he definitely could have put a huge dent into it. But what he really wants is to teleport down here for this dragon fight, because that's what it's going to cost you if you did stay up there. It's actually a little bit of pride here on this.
Okay, but riddle me this, T1 fanboy.
Yep,
why did they lose to GenG?
The Rift Herald is going to be thrown down as well. That's just going to march around and give GenG some priority. As Peanut just staying close to this Drake. We'll see what Canyon can do here, utilizing his Sonic Wave resonating strikers. There's the weave as well. Equalizer goes down. Not as much value as the first one as Lehens dives in. Not going to get knocked up by Doran though, so he's able to break those chains as Peanut's next to the Drake, but he's not going to be able to take it. It's Canyon that locks it down, but can they win the team fight? As now Canyon looks to get out with the safeguard, does so quite nicely. Keen also at 50%.
I mean, it's really crazy that GenG is actually completely out-macroing Hanwha this game. Nice flip, though. Doran did not need to flash into that.
50% and Hanwha Esports, just not enough damage in this one. They finally land a hook, but it's onto Lehens. He's taking
I actually don't know why he's flashing in. I guess he really wants to provide the CC because he thinks that Viper can clean it up, potentially, if he gets the CC down.
Yeah, I mean, I think if GenG lost 2 people in this fight, maybe even 3, they'd still walk away saying worth because they're still up on gold and they got Hextech Soul Point. And they ended up trading 1-for-1 there.
Do I think Viper is still on the level of Ruler and Gauntlet? I mean, Viper's really good, guys. He is really good. HLE with a mid laner is an amazing team.
The Weaver's Wall comes out, but he's able to threaten Zeka without ultimate. He doesn't have his tools because he used them topside. He still puts a dent in Zeka's health bar. They just comes back over here and offers some additional damage so that
unlucky on the smite fight.
And then when we back over here and offers some additional damage so that
Peanut smite's late.
Puts a dent in Zeka's health bar. They just comes back over here
because he gets the Q smite, and the other smite I think is onto. I think the other smite actually just hits Canyon. That's what it looks like. Yeah, there's the other smite. He smites Canyon.
So that Canyon can look for the steal away. And then when we see the ult come out, the Nami ultimate here, there's just no real follow-up. Viper can't get in there. There's too many threats. And then eventually, yeah, Lehens gets hooked here, but he does his job. He tanks it up. And look at the damage coming out from Keen. They do so much damage that Doran eventually is burned down. It's a 1-for-1. Soul Point goes over. And Hanwha Life are just taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back, it feels like in a lot of these fights, whereas GenG is sprinting closer and closer to the finish line.
Zeka is like the cream of LCK. No, he's not.
It's jumped up 500 after this last fight, and I mean, they have so much control everywhere on the Rift right now. Cannon even can come up here and threaten Zeka.
Would HLE be a contender if they had BDD? Yes. I think they'd be really good.
Peanut here, who hooks Lehens once again. Cullen going to be soaked by the gray health and a bit of a shield there as he does activate. And Lehens just, yeah, laughs it off. As we can see, Viper dashing towards Pays, but not going to find too much more damage as now Chovy just trying to shift the sands away. Hanwha Esports still playing with a lot of gusto here. And I think one thing that we did learn about what Hanwha Esports composition can do is that if Doran makes it into a backline and there's not a lot of buttons left, he will kill everyone. And quite quickly.
Here's what I think, guys. I think if Deft, Pioshik, and Barrel want a DRX reunion, they should be allowed to have a DRX reunion. Zeka should go to KT. They should immediately trade Zeka for BDD, right? They should immediately trade Zeka for BDD.
I think that the flanking Aatrox,
they can have King in too. I don't care.
In a game game like
They can have
this, but
Kingen.
if you don't have any map control, you can never get to that flank, and that's the problem.
They can trade perfect for Kingen. We'll just have the double rookies on D+.
Chovy might be in trouble.
That's fine. It would actually be more fun to watch them. D+.
Divide is going to push Peanut towards him, but Doran's here as well. Devour comes down as Lahens is just doing battle. A fantastic equalizer yet again, but it's not able to lock down the kills just yet, and Doran is still fighting. Not for much longer as two go down, and Pays is flashing after Viper, who does relentlessly escape that one, and Peanut not going to be so lucky. So 2 kills for Chovy, and basically everybody else picking up 1 in that fight, as GenG will also take down the last remaining outer turret and possibly just a Baron.
You know, a moment ago I said 1 step forward, or 2 steps back. That was 1 step forward, 3 steps back. 2 teleports down, and Zeka is just going to try to push mid here. Won't really be able to get anything out of this. The turret's not even...
What about the shy to D+? Dude, I've already made that argument.
Now spawned here for a Hanwha life to try to collect, but that's another turret down, that's Baron down, and that may just simply be...
Yeah, it's such a disaster of the game, especially when they got Soul Point on the Lee Sin. Zeka misses his W, pushes Peanut out. Lahens is here because he has TP. Because he's a farming Tom Kench. It's like when you play Santa Nautilus right now, those champions get TP.
You cannot participate, and I think GenG
is the
great play by GenG. Honestly, this is one of the better macro games we've seen from GenG. They've had some problems in the mid and late game, but this game they've been very good.
Doesn't even need to fish for a kick. He's still looking for one, but it does not matter. Zeka is still going to die. And Viper throws a culling once again into Lahens, who's just very happy to tank it up. Hex gates now being taken. Delight is not going to be...
he tried. Just gives him the thumbs up.
Thumbs up, and Pays is going to say, hello, remember when I was your teammate? And then Peanut is going to go down. I have a feeling this one's all over. And Canyon is going to see whether he can kill Viper in the meantime.
Viper too good, man.
Because there are these wolves in the way.
He's just delaying them though so they can end.
Stupid wolves. Kill this guy. Oh wait, my Nexus is dying.
All he has to do is stop the backs wolf. Win. No, he can't.
Oh, he finally got him. All right, well, that was fun, I guess.
As that kill does come through right before the Nexus goes
Equalizer
down,
pretty good. Yeah, it turns out King's a really